Welcome back to the Circles Project. My name is Kristen Shamanik, and I'm a respiratory therapist here at the COPD Foundation. And today we're going to talk about activity and exercise. So in your program toolkit, you received a Fit Kit, which contains lots of different health and wellness items that are going to be really helpful for you with starting some new activity or maybe continuing the activities and exercises that you already do. So for example, we have a tote bag to hold all our goodies. We have a workbook that helps to explain all kinds of different topics about COPD. You're going to see in your workbook that there's a big section on exercise. So you can get a lot of good information there. But in the meantime, we'll talk about a few things that are in your kit that can kind of help you along your fitness journey. So we have a pen, of course, to work in our workbook and to also write in our calendar booklet, which is right here in the middle, this orange book. It's a little date book. So you can write in any of your important dates. You can write in some goals if you have some notes you want to take for your next doctor's appointment or next pulmonary rehab appointment. This is a good tool to use. And also we have a wrist pedometer. So we'll go into that in a little bit. Don't get too worried about the pedometer. We're not asking anybody to run miles or walk miles, nothing like that. Today we're just talking about how to add a little bit of activity to your everyday life. Nothing too crazy. We're going to keep it pretty simple. So when it comes to activity and exercise, I want you to think a little bit about how much activity do you do now? Now, when I say activity, I don't mean are you running laps or are you, lifting weights or anything like that. All I'm asking is to think about some of the activities you do right now around your house or in your neighborhood. Every little bit counts. So even if you say, you know what, I don't exercise at all. I can barely walk out to get the mail without having shortness of breath. I understand completely. Don't worry about it. Even just that little bit of activity, maybe it's just getting up to drink some water during commercial breaks while you're watching TV, or maybe you're just going to stand a little bit every few minutes, or maybe you're going to go out and get the mail if you can. Those little steps, just those little baby steps of little pieces of activity that you add into your day, they all add up. Every little bit counts. So there's nothing to worry about. I think a lot of us get a little bit discouraged because we want to be able to do more than we really can right now. So we're going to help you to get to where you want to be. Everybody has a goal, right? Everybody has something that they like or that they're interested in that they'd like to do. So we're going to try to help you get back to doing those things that you enjoy. So think about what kind of activities you do right now and how much activity you do now, and think about what else you could do to add activity to your day. So for example, let's say you really don't move around a lot because you get very, very short of breath. Other than standing a little bit or taking a break to get some water, try to give yourself a reason to get up. You know what I mean? So you might want to think about keeping things just out of your reach. Maybe you have to get up and get a snack instead of bringing it over to the table with you. Or maybe you need to, walk through your house to answer the phone or whatever it might be. Just give yourself a reason to get up and move around a little bit more. And think about how that would look in your regular day. Okay, so the reason we're interested in activity, there is a reason. It's because activity and exercise helps improve your stamina and it helps improve your breathing. You want to be able to keep your fitness level up. It's that old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So if we get to the point where we're really not able to do a lot of exercise or activity, it's hard on you. You feel like you want to be able to do more and maybe your breathing isn't allowing you to do that, but there's ways to fix that. So one of the things you can do is there's something called pulmonary rehab, which is something you might already be using. And that's a health and wellness program that focuses on your breathing, activity, exercise, nutrition, many, many different pieces of the puzzle when it comes to COPD management. So that's one thing you can do. But really, activity and exercise is something. It could be anything that you like to do. Activity can be anything. It doesn't have to be an organized activity. It doesn't have to be outside of your house. You don't have to be lifting weights at the local gym. You don't have to be walking in the neighborhood. You could do an exercise right here in your living room. You could move your feet up and down. You could pump your arms a little bit. There's always something you could be doing. So pick an activity or an exercise that you like and that you want to do. Most doctors will tell you that the best exercise is one that you like and that you'll stick to. So for myself, I like to go walking in the neighborhood. That's something I can do. It's something that my asthma allows me to do. So that's my activity that I like to do. But other people may have different ideas. Maybe you like to garden. Maybe you like to do a little bit maybe heavier exercise. Maybe you're in really good shape and you like to do some light exercise around the house. Think about what you like. Because if I give you exercises to do, you may not enjoy them, but maybe there's something that you do like that we could really focus on that can help you get your stamina up and your breathing a little better. So think about what you enjoy and what's important to you. Some people say, I just want to be able to walk from the car to the doctor's office without getting short of breath. And I can understand that completely because some of these doctor's offices are not easy to get to. You have to park the car, you have to walk all the way into the building, which sometimes can be very far. You might have to park far away. Then you have to go through the hospital or through the office, up the elevator to the office. I'm tired and we haven't even gotten there yet. So I can imagine how it is for everybody else. It's one of those things where it's just, people don't realize how much effort it really takes to even just go to the doctor's office. So if you're someone like that who says, I can barely even get to the doctor's office without being short of breath, that's okay. We can help you. There's ways to sort of incorporate a little bit of extra activity each day to kind of increase your stamina and get you to where you want to be. So here's one tool that we can use. Now, before we talk about this pedometer, I don't want anybody to get nervous. We are not asking anybody to walk miles, to walk extensive distances. We don't want you running, none of that. This is just supposed to be a fun tool to help you keep track of your daily steps. So let's say that you really don't get around very well and you have a hard time walking. In that case, let's say you did 1,000 steps yesterday, over the course of the day. Maybe tomorrow you try for 1,005 or 1,010 or 1,050, just a few extra steps. Just like we said before, maybe you're just going to get up and get a drink of water. Well, those are more steps than you did yesterday. That's an awesome way to start. Each little bit counts. It really does add up to make a difference. So there's no need to push yourself. Just set small goals. Maybe I'll do a few more steps today. Maybe I'll do a few more steps tomorrow. And pretty soon, maybe in a few weeks, you've done quite a bit more than you used to do before. So that's what we're talking about here. Just adding a little bit more baby steps, just creeping up a little bit at a time. But before you use this pedometer, make sure you talk to your healthcare team, because while it should be safe to be able to just add a few steps here and there, we want to make sure that we're not missing any important things as far as your health is concerned. So if your doctor doesn't want you to use this pedometer, or if they say, I'd rather you do a different type of activity or a different type of exercise, that's totally fine, not a problem at all. But it is here for you if you'd like to use it. It's a wrist pedometer, which is nice because sometimes the clip ones, when you sit down, they pop right off your belt loop. So I've had that happen to me many times. So a wrist band will be quite nice because it's got a nice little watch band. It's adjustable, so it should fit, many different people. And it just picks up your steps as you walk throughout the day, as you move your arms when you're walking. So this is just one way to track your steps. You'll also see, this is a page out of the workbook on the right side, and this gives you a little bit more information about your pedometer. And it also gives a little bit of helpful information and tips about safety. For example, if you use oxygen at home, you want to make sure you check with your healthcare team before you start exercise, because you might need to adjust how much oxygen you're using for that extra work you're doing. So those are just some things to keep in mind. There's also a place on this workbook page that tells you you can actually write down the pedometer instructions. So whatever your healthcare team says, as far as how much you should be using it, you can write those instructions here. So it might be something like we said earlier, which was just add a few steps each day. That might be the instruction. Or it might be a little more specific. It might set some goals for you, or maybe they'll have some restrictions as far as using the pedometer. So that's where you're going to want to write that so you can refer back to it. So that's just a little bit of information on activity and exercise. Everybody is different and everybody starts at a different fitness level. So nobody is expecting anyone to do heavy exercise, especially at home on your own. All we're talking about here is just adding a little bit here and there to kind of improve your stamina. Now, if you're part of a pulmonary rehab program, they might have you do a little bit more vigorous exercise, but that's because you're in an environment where people are keeping track of you, monitoring you throughout the day, making sure your oxygen levels are good. So there you can work out just a little bit harder than you normally do at home because you've got friends to help you there. Okay, well, if you'd like to learn more about your COPD and download different tools to help you manage your condition, you can do it here at our website. It's copdf.co/education-materials. There you'll find different handouts and flyers that you can download for free for your own personal use, and they'll help you along your COPD journey. Thanks very much for watching.